Hello, Assassinators. Sorry about that. It just cut off like a little bit earlier than it originally supposed to cut out on this video. But as well as saying, before I got interrupted, here's the second clip of the wrestling news video, June 28th. But let's continue as what we were saying. The Rock began his WWE career in November 1996 in the middle of the Monday Night War that pitted WCW Monday Night Nitro against WWE Monday Night Raw. By the time the ratings battle concluded in 2001, Rock was heading into the third consecutive WrestleMania main event, and it was the rise of stars such as himself and Stone Cold Steve Austin that helped turn the tide for WWE and led to them reaching greater heights that ever before. Rock has nothing but respect for what WC accomplished, saying during the final episode of the Who Killed WCW documentary series on Vice, like that one thing the learned from Harvey Whippleman, aka Downtown Bruno, like is that everyone has to come to terms with when their big run is over. That moment eventually came for WCW, but The Rock says their run was awesome. Like a good buddy of he said a good buddy of mine my good buddy of mine, he's one of the best friends downtown Bruno. When I first started, I said, Bruno, give me some advice. He said, you're going to hear a voice like one day, and that voice is going to say, go on home. Like like the big runs over WCW as an is an in an into as an into in an entity is an entity an entity they heard that voice like in the run was over and it was effing awesome. Elsewhere, in the episode, The Rock discussed some of the dream opponents from the peak WCW roster, which we're going to get to right now. But I want to ask you, what is your thoughts on Rock giving high praise to WCW and one of their biggest stars, which is, what's his name? Which I know him from, like Bruno, yeah. Yeah, which is he's a very popular WCW star, and got some advice from him of just going home, like into the base to make the run. And do you think that helped him out in his career in WWE? Let me know in the comment section right down below. But anyway, this is where we got the Rock named Sting, and Randy Savage as WCW stars. He told Vince McMahon he wanted to wrestle. The Rock was excited about the potential matchups like he could have when WWE purchased WCW in 2001. While he would have fun matches with names like Booker T, Goldberg, and the New World Order, most specifically Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. Not everyone that The Rock had hoped to face ever got the privilege of going one on one with the great one. When Rock returned to WWE in the summer of 2001, the invasion angle was well underway at that point. However, it was clear that wrestling fans would not immediately see the dream matches they had been clamoring for, with fantasy booking WWE versus WCW in their heads. Even The Rock, who would headline the 2001 SummerSlam event, but by capturing the WCW World Championship from Booker T, had a different vision in the mind of what the dream matches would look like. The Rock discussed his immediate thoughts of potential dream matches following the, the 2001 buyout. During the final episode of the Vice docu series "Who Killed WCW," Rock said that he very quickly begin to scribble down like names like of WCW wrestlers. Like he felt he could create compelling stories with inside the squared circle, and eventually presented these names to Vince McMahon. Yes, Goldberg and the New World Order were in the list, but so were Sting and Randy Savage, two WWE Hall of Famers that The Rock would sadly never wrestle. He said, I, re- I remember sitting down in my hotel room and writing down all the wrestlers who I had hoped to wrestle. Goldberg, Sting, Randy Savage, everybody everybody in the NWO. Like I remember writing everybody down and going to Vince and saying, "Hey, like this might be a good idea. What about this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy? Let's bring them in." The Rock had to wait until 2002 to face the members of the NWO, including a classic match against Hollywood Hogan at that year's WrestleMania. The Rock would face Bill Goldberg at the 2003 Backlash, at the 2003 Backlash, in the final singles match of his initial WWE run, and the last singles match like he would have in 9 years until he fought John Cena at WrestleMania 28. Fightful Sean Ross Sapp recently interviewed Evan Hudsney, like one of the producers of the docu series. But what is your thoughts on The Rock revealing that he had a list, a long list of WCW wrestlers that he named on the list that he wrote down, like which a couple of them were including Sting and Macho Man Randy Savage and what's his name and Macho Man Randy Savage, Sting, the NWO, Goldberg, and others. And imagine what would have been like if Vince McMahon requested these wishes to the People's Champion, and then and actually gave him at least a dream match with at least Sting, like because they bought out the company, but Sting left the company eventually. Left WC, or he did not join WWE, even though the company was bought out by WWE. He eventually went to companies like TNA and I believe the independent scene, but he mostly went to TNA in the mid 2000s and made a name for himself there for the past decade until finally making his debut in WWE. But yeah, it's to think about like what it could have been if they only had these dream matches. But excuse me for a moment.